rise, you know, and crow, you know. So give thanks yourself for the break of dawning. Celestia, Phantom Moja bless it. The Almighty. Oh, 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 hey. When I rise early this morning, I see love in front of me. You're walking when I rise early this morning. I feel joy inside of me. You're walking, it not take nothing at all. Fear the King, him bless me in now what me doing. It not take nothing at all. Fear the King, Selassie I the King of all kings. It not take nothing at all. Fear the King, him bless me in now what me doing. It not take nothing at all. Fear the King, Selassie I the King of all kings. What it takes a man to gain the world and lose his soul. Prophecy, it have to fulfill. Judge a work of the unfold. To the young and the old, the blind and the dumb, to the hype and the meek, the weak and the strong. Give Judge a thanks and just carry on. When I rise early this morning, I see love in front of me. You're walking when I rise early this morning. I feel joy inside of me. You're walking, rise with me princess, me have to give praise. My two little kids and boy love me a rise. God bless mama, and bless papa, and bless all me bad-minded neighbor. Oh, I just like to see my people live on. Full with the King, with righteousness. God, he don't take nothing at all. Fear the King, him bless me in what me doing. It not take nothing at all. Fear the King, Selassie I the King of all kings. It not take nothing at all. Fear the King, him bless me in what me doing. It not take nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Yo, you could have black or white, me say purple or blue. Love is for me and me say love is for you. Ask the wicked man see a way him a go do. When him buck up in a fi him Waterloo. Hide them a hide, say them put the catch a flu. When me pass through them a wonder a who. Tell wicked man say him a go get boo. Fire, 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 burn them. When I rise early this morning, I see love in front of me. You're walking when I rise early this morning. I feel joy inside of me. You're walking when I rise.
They can't keep a good man down. Always keep a smile when they want me to frown. Keep the vibes and I stood my ground. They will never ever take my crown. Oh, God bless, I say no man curse. Things getting better when they thought it would be worse. Here comes the officers asking for a search. They found no weapon, just only a draw first. But I'm so solid as a rock, they just can't stop me now. Even when they set their traps, they just can't stop me now. People will say this and that, they just can't stop me now. Even when they set up roadblocks, they just can't stop me now. When they come with their evil thoughts, I just listen whenever they talk. I used to light into my dark. It and clear all my faults. They fight me without a cause, trying to make my life so hard. The King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, give it all reward. So solid as a rock, they just can't stop me now. Even when they set their traps, they just can't stop me now. People will say this and that, they just can't stop me now. Even when they set up roadblocks, they just can't stop me now. Not down to mix me up in your dirty game. You're only trying to tarnish my name. You're only looking for the innocent to blame, when you're the ones who wish the guns down the lane. You only cause destruction and the pain, but the righteous believes in the rain. Love is all I got to give and I'm not to shine. Looking for the future, the sky I can't tame. But I'm so solid as a rock and they just can't stop me now. Even when they send their traps, they just can't stop me now. People will say this and that, they just can't stop me now. Even when they set up roadblocks, they just can't stop me now. So they can't keep a good man down, always keep a smile when they want me to frown. Keep the vibes and I stood my ground. They will never ever take my crown. Who's a bless, I say no man curse. Things getting better when they thought it would be worse. Here comes the officers asking for a search. They found no weapon, just only a dropper. Solid as a rock, they just can't stop me now.
This is Quincy Anderson. You know I love my country. There's no other country better than mine. Welcome to Guyana, land of 6 races, 6 different faces, and we all live in love. Guyana is a beautiful country, no other can compare. Got everything right here, so no other can compare. Guyana is made up of so many natural resources. We don't need no forces, cause we got enough resources. Let's talk about bauxite, gold, diamond, and rice. We got it right here. Guyana ain't going nowhere. We got enough oil too. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. Hey, hey, Guyana is nice, Guyana is fun, Guyana is clean, Guyana is green, Guyana got oil, Guyana got gold, Guyana got young and Guyana got old. I ain't talking no more. Guyana got things, we growing wings and developing things. The government real and that's a big deal. I'm singing from my heart, Guyana. I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. Welcome to Guyana, land of 6 races, 6 different faces, and we all live in love. Guyana is a beautiful country, no other can compare. Got everything right here, so no other can compare. Guyana is made up of so many natural resources. We don't need no forces, cause we got enough resources. Let's talk about bauxite, gold, diamond, and rice. We got it right here. Guyana ain't going nowhere. We got enough oil too. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. One Guyana, I love Guyana.
was it right now? Super rare, the original lash up head dance. Every girl right now, let me hear me sing. Lash up head.
We are a peaceful people, struggle as we struggle, and we don't look for trouble, just ask around. But when outside faces from foreign places talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one 𝒄𝒍𝒂𝒊𝒎, not a blade of grass. This land is all I know. We're gonna make it somehow. We will bend like a bow, but never break. Our fathers came here, and they lived and died here, and we ain't moving nowhere, make no mistake. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one 𝒄𝒍𝒂𝒊𝒎, not a blade of grass.
We love the open county of the Rupununi and the Essequibo, daytime or night. Though we may criticize it, this is our home, we love it, and we need to keep it. We have that right.
We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one 𝒄𝒍𝒂𝒊𝒎, not a blade of grass. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one 𝒄𝒍𝒂𝒊𝒎, not a blade of grass. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one 𝒄𝒍𝒂𝒊𝒎, not a blade of grass.
Good morning, and welcome down to Livewire with me, your host, Comrade Courdel Jones. Really happy to be here with you this morning. It's the 24th of April. Are we moving through, people? And I think I tell y'all, we would have had some antics to deal with today. And, lo and behold, we have some antics to deal with today. Before I get into it, I would like to take this time to say, let me make sure I say it right. Make sure I have it correct. But I'd like to take this time to say to persons, Happy Hanuman Jayanti to all our Hindu brothers and sisters out there, all those who are celebrating. Right? Morning to all the persons joining on the live already. Eddie Ramnath, good morning to you. Paul Joseph, good morning. Rahim Amarali, morning to you. Vida Ramkaran, Neil Ramlokan. Paul Joseph said, Ford not afraid of appeal. Well, Paul, that was the case in other cases, and without the fear, he still lost. You understand? Mark Zuckerberg for 100 million? What? Oh, Lord. Jonah B. John, morning to you. Rupert Messiah, morning to you. Faisal Ghani, Sharon Siram, Mohammed Isuf, Indapal Narain, joining us from Minnesota. John Ragnot, joining us from North Carolina. Good morning to you. Maureen Razio, Ronald Shivdial, good morning to you. Lola Hari, Rennie Prasad, Nirmala Allen, Ronald Martindale, good morning to you. Jamila Kayum, Philip Diabru, joining us from Canada. Captain Michael, morning to you. Camille Narain, joining us from Minnesota. None other than the Councillor Stephanie Nelson Moore on the live this morning. Morning to you. Aliyah Mohammed, good morning. Tosi Ramchedi, Rose. Candice Nelson. Morning to you. Pushram Kishore, Henry Jagdio, Nadia, morning to you. Chitra Sukraj, good morning. Alan Khan, Eunice Raghu Beer, special good morning to you. I hope all is well. Elizabeth Ram Charan, good morning to you. Big morning to the passenger princess, most likely on her way to work. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you had a restful night, and the day will run smooth in your accounting processes. I call Philip already. Ram Narain Singh, morning to you. Jasoda Bodram, morning to you. He put his phone on silent. These people know 8 to 9 and they still message during 8 to 9. Rugarib, morning. Pam, morning to you and Trevor. Krista Kurprasad, good morning to you. Deshaun Abrams, morning to you and Zoe and the new addition to the family. I hope all is going well. I hope you're getting some sleep. I heard the baby's a night baby. What we gonna do, brother? You want to expand the family, this comes with it. So I hope you and Zoe are coping well. I know Miss Little is offering as much assistance as she could. Good morning to Asif Mohammed, Soma Bipat, Richard Stanislaus, morning to you. Mukesh Vishnudat, morning to you, the wife and the rest of the family. Who else we got here? Dianan Suku, Richard Aklu, morning to you. Michael, morning to you. Passenger Princess's trouble. Who else is there? Vera Badar, morning to you. Sunita Sokraj, Edward Budu, Tulsi Ramchedi, Anita Mangal, good morning to you. Elizabeth Ramcharan want to know why Jack you pardon Mark Cup. Because he's a good man. The vice president, that is. Ann Hill, morning to you. Oh, bedside princess today, not passenger princess. My apology. Miss Bob from Mocha, morning to you. What is a fancy name, brother? Asgar Suku, morning to you. Bana Kulit, morning to you. Pandit Sunil Sharma, good morning to you. Clear Narain. Marisha Sami, good morning to you. Shakira Alexi, Jormin Gentle, morning to Jormin, his family and all the persons working with his organization, and morning to all the persons across Region 3 as well. We jumping into it, people. We jumping into it. First of all, just let me know a little later in the program, we have some of the councillors from City Hall who will be making appearance on the program. We have a lot of things to discuss about City Hall. Right? We got a lot of things to discuss about City Hall. Right? Y'all ever heard the term, the fish rots from the head? The fish rots from the head. So if the head rotten, you're going to get nothing good from the rest of the body. You got to throw away the rest of the meat. It's tainted. So for City Hall to recover and to recoup, and to catch itself, you got to get rid of the rotting head of City Hall. You understand? City Hall, we cannot expect, whether you have PNC or PVP councillors there, for them to do anything of substance when you got an incompetent leader at the helm. I mean, how stupid can you be? People, how stupid can you be to generate such a bill? And I'm going to be talking to the councillors about this, you know. And Richard Sansas, you're correct. Right now, City Hall stink of fish. Stink of fish. You understand? We're going to be talking to the councillors about this because we often hear that City Hall doesn't have any money. We often hear City Hall doesn't have any money, but it is incompetence abound from the leadership at City Hall. Now, before the councillors get here, I wanted to take you all through the paces of the letter was retarded. I saw it on Facebook. I don't know if it was published in any one of the daily papers, but I saw it on the mayor's page on Facebook. Proffered a letter trying to explain away his stupidity, his poor management, his lack of vision. Again, we will have another mayor that will go down in the book, the history books, as a complete waste. This guy on your screen, useless, senseless, incompetent. Right? So the mayor had an epistle to try to explain away. Oh gosh. Sometimes I wish I was critic, that I could have cussed up and go on. You hear me? But he wrote this thesis on how City Hall and working and with this and that and that. Right? Mr. Mayor, let's look at mismanagement and negligence. Now, the mayor claims that the collapse of the Starbrook wharf is due to inadequate funds and government failures. However, his reasoning overlooks the consistent mismanagement and negligence by the city council in maintaining municipal infrastructure. The collapse is a result of years of neglect, not solely because of a lack of funds. So would the mayor trying to push down people's throat that is because the government, the wharf fall down, the wharf roof? If we take the current bill that the mayor has for phone calls for 1 month, roaming charges for 1 month, you could hire a small team of people right from the market to lose down the structure, and then probably ask public works security to weigh on the river for the same 600,000 plus, sir. You gotta put that money to better use, right? Now, the city council's inability to maintain key infrastructure cannot solely be attributed to a lack of funds. The council has failed to prioritize crucial repairs, opting to focus on other projects while allowing the wharf to deteriorate. The collapse could have been prevented if the council had used the resources effectively. Now again, Mr. Mayor, what are you doing with the money you're collecting from rates and taxes? What are you doing with the money you're collecting from the persons who are vending in the markets that are falling apart across the country, the capital city? What are you doing with the money that you're collecting from the illegal vendors who are vending on the street side? Monies are collected from those persons as well. Again, I'm calling on people to protest this mayor. Alfred Mentor, you should be ashamed of yourself. You shouldn't be ashamed to hold the post still. Give back the key to the city. Complete waste. You went to Ghana to look at market and to look at how people dealing with street vending and bring back a over $500,000 bill to the council, and it's not even for accommodations or transportation or anything sensible like that. What is wrong with Alfred Mentor? But then again, this is what we can expect from PNC personnel. I am absolutely sure that the mayor and city council has an IT department. Absolutely sure. So it was a simple question of asking persons, hey, I'm going on this trip that it ain't really work related, but I say it work related. I want to call my family. Even the one who could barely play a little cricket there at the Marara Cricket Club. Don't worry, he's there. I want to call my family. How I could do it? I just want to make sure and understand. You just have to ask a question, Alfred. Why would you put the council in such debt? And mind you, people, Alfred Mentor allotment for calls to the month is $15,000. $15,000. What was he thinking? What was Alfred Mentor thinking? Now, let me go back to this epistle that he wrote. And in it, we had a lot of selective accountability, right? So the mayor's criticism of the government for failing to pay taxes appears to be a diversion from the city council's internal issues. So asset register out of order, the system to how to determine it, the system to regulate or to keep up to date the payment of tax, the rates and taxes payers in the city is not correct. I think I mentioned the asset register first. No auditing, that kind of thing. That is what we're expecting from, that is what we're getting from City Hall. You understand? That is what we're getting there. That is what we're getting there. Now, while outstanding taxes might be a factor, right? Whilst it may be a factor, the lack of transparency and accountability within the council is more of a significant concern. The council's leadership should demonstrate openness and accountability in the financial practices. So I hear like two of my guests signing here already, right? So this is what I'm saying to you people. You cannot, Prince Archibald, morning to you, Rudolph Sarju. You cannot, let me put this the right way. Now, if I am paying for a service and I don't receive the service, what am I paying for? What am I paying for? It's similar to the teachers union thing. You didn't work, I didn't get the service. So what am I paying for? How are you managing the resources that you have to give somebody the encouragement to put more resources in your hand? You're doing stupidness. You're doing stupidness. Anyway, let me invite on screen. I see two of my guests here already. Former mayor and current PVPC councillor, Madam Patricia Chase Green, and also none other than the gentleman who trumps Mr. Mentor in the local government elections, Mr. Alfonso de Armas. Welcome, councillors, to Livewire.
Good morning, and thank you for having us here. And good morning to the viewers also.
Alfonso, you hearing us?
Yeah,
Oh, good. First of all, let me jump over to you, former mayor. Have you ever, in your tenure as mayor, racked up such a ridiculous bill for this council?
Courdel, that's the biggest joke I've seen yesterday. In my tenure for the 3 years, I know my telephone bill would not have made $600 and something thousand. I've never went past the limit of what it was, 15 or 20,000. The rest was done either by WhatsApp, even if I'm overseas on council's business. No, I can say no. My telephone bill has never reached $640 something thousand in a month. No.
Ridiculous. Council de Armas, you often touch on council finances, the lack of accountability in the council. Now, according to the mayor, the council is lacking funds. What are your thoughts on this here? I mean, how is the council paying this bill?
You know, Courdel, I travel fairly often, and whenever I travel, I know that I can buy a local SIM card for about 25, less than the cost here, with unlimited or a
Correct.
significant data for the month, right? So I don't understand why this wasn't done, and instead he decided to roam. It just shows a lack of really
Responsibility.
responsibility for the fiscal management, for proper fiscal management of the council. Oh, the money's going to come from somewhere, so you might as well just blow out the spending. This sort of attitude is evident in the way that council manages its affairs. Almost every statutory meeting, we make some decision or other that affects the council financially, and yet not a single person on council has any idea what the current status quo is with council's finances. How much money is in our bank account? What's our cash flow? What's our cash flow for the next 3 months? Are we going to run dry sometime soon? What impact is this decision that we're taking now going to have 7 months down the line? Right? No, that none of us have none of us has any of that information to make sensible decisions. And this just shows, why not? There's money in the accounts right now, supposedly. Why not spend $628,119.14 on roaming charges when you could just as easily have bought a local SIM card and kept the top number?
Yeah, but put a local SIM card aside, brother. Wi-Fi, geez, shucks. Wi-Fi.
Courdel, I like to be a little fair. There's no fairness here, but as the mayor, I'm certain you have a lot of business that people are trying to reach you all the time. So I mean,
Council Diarmas, I continue to be amazed by your ability to still see the other side. Councillor Chase Green, from your knowledge that you have, how will something like this be dealt with? This bill, what's going to happen here? Is the council is admin just going to pay this bill?
No, the town clerk will have to bring that to the finance committee. What normally happens is that the mayor and deputy mayor do have a limit on their phone. They're given that prerogative.
Right.
If you would have exceeded that limit, I mean, maybe by 5,000 or so, the council will pay. But most times I don't understand why that was allowed to go, though, and it wasn't cut off by GT&T after passing its limits.
Yeah,
I don't think it's an unlimited phone either that he has. It has to have a limit. But that will have to come to the finance committee to determine, because there's far more in excess of what is for him to be using up on a monthly basis. Remember this your phone bill is your monthly allowances, one of the allowances given to the mayor by the council. As Councillor Diarma says, being fair to him, he might have had other businesses and to call home to find out about his family and all of that. But there are other ways and means, and not just being irresponsible and just roam as you like. I mean, you know how many street lamps could have been bought with that money to make the lives of citizens much more safe in some of the streets that we go through.
Right. Yeah.
So,
that's correct.
Councillor Diarmas.
This is easily 20 street lamps. At least.
Yeah. No. Coming off of this bill here a little bit, there was a statutory meeting held just after the collapse of the wharf. I'll start with Councillor Diarmas, then I'll come over to Councillor Chase Green. What were some of the things proffered by the mayor, deputy mayor, the controlling section of the council, the PNC councillors, in terms of solutions, income generation, revenue generation, or anything of the sort?
So a couple things, Courdel. The only thing that we heard from Mayor Mentor is a Shaggy song, a rendition of the Shaggy song, "It Wasn't Me." Right? He didn't actually sing it. I'm being sarcastic.
Oh. It was like, what?
No, he didn't actually sing it, but he echoed Shaggy's sentiments.
Yeah.
Very widely, almost word for word, right? As he sought to place blame everywhere else. Now, some PNC councillors got up and said, well, I don't understand why we're looking to cast blame here or looking to see what happened. We should look to put forward solutions. But I don't think that we can put forward viable solutions unless we diagnose what happened and the reason it happened, right? And the reason it happened is, unfortunately, complete council negligence, right? That's the reason it happened. So yes, you can wax lyrical about we've got to work together to find a solution to the problem. Yes, but to find an effective one to ensure that this never happens again, it's important to diagnose the reason why it happened in the first place. There's a complete lack of accountability in that sense. Like, yeah, it happened, so let's forget about it and move forward. It's nonsense.
Before you jump in, Councillor Chase Green, just give me a chance to welcome Councillor Stephen Jacobs onto the live. Good morning, Councillor. Welcome to the program. I don't think he's all right. We can. Okay, he having some trouble. Go ahead, Councillor Chase Green.
Courdel, let me say quite clearly, it was negligence, and the council has to take its responsibility. As I would have said, I was mayor for a period of time from 2016 to 2018. I take responsibility for the period of time. I would have closed off that wharf, put up notices and so, looked at to demolish it, but there was no funding. We did had a presentation of what the model should be for the new wharf. And as I said before, and I'll continue to say, the standoff came when I couldn't have confirmation from the other side that was helping to rebuild the wharf if we demolish it, that the vendors who previously occupied there would be able to go back there. And I'm amazed the way how they represent vendors, but they weren't representing those vendors that were selling on the wharf to make sure that they get back there.
Right.
It is a part of negligence on us, and we must take the responsibility. I have not heard from the mayor positively as of now. When Councillor Diarmas just said, where do we go from there? Other than we were supposed to have a meeting to look at plans. When we went to council on Monday, there was one plan from 2023, but there were plans before that wasn't coming forward. And so that is postponed again. And if you look at it, had the government not step in to give both helping hands to the council to have that place, the other two areas that did not come down, demolish and the rubble removed, the council would not have been able to move one single board on itself because they don't have the money. They always cry they don't have the money or finances. Because if you look at time and money value for the removal of that, it goes into millions of dollars. As I said, we would have been having guards out there without not even a baton or a torchlight. So, and to date, neither the mayor, the deputy mayor, other than looking at the plans and talking about private-public partnership, the government has stepped in and says, listen, I'm going to do this. Let us go to the government with something tangible. If what we have is not what they have in mind, because we might be so small-minded to think of something small, and they might be looking at something further down the line. Because right now, the council is just seeing what is in front of it, nothing else.
Yeah.
And so, therefore, we should have been, I think, the completion of removal of Rebel and all the debris from there will come to stop tomorrow. By this weekend, that place is clear. We should have been able to have something on the table for the government to see. Well, look, okay, we can go with this plan. No, look, we have this. Let's look at it and see what we're going to put up, a 3-story, a 4-story. This is what is going to happen. That has not been forthcoming up to now to the council. That has been postponed for another day. We'll meet, and a date hasn't been set for us to meet to look at that. A date was set today to look at the draft budget for the council, but this is now further postponed to Friday. There is no emergency or urgency in these people to do anything for the city. It's very lackadaisical in the management we're having at the city at the level of City Hall.
So they find it issue to come out and do the people's work that they were elected to do?
They're not doing that. They're not doing that. I mean, how much more do you want coming out of the government? Oh, you keep saying, but funds and funds, the government is starving, the city hall of funds, the government is starving. But how could you put money into a cup that doesn't have a bottom?
Trouble.
Where will it go? Where will it
Trouble.
go?
Trouble. So
And
let me jump in here and welcome Councillor Stephen Jacobs. Let's see if he's hearing us now. Councillor Jacobs,
Yes.
morning, welcome.
Morning. Thanks for having me. It seems when I'm seeing the conversation is about the mayor of Georgetown. So you plan to give me an early headache, but I mean let's discuss. Let's discuss. In my
you
honest
get medical
opinion, though,
attention.
Courdel, in
Oh
my
my
honest
goodness.
in my honest opinion, I really think the mayor should just crawl under a rock and just never come out. It's very, very shameful.
Well, before you even continue, first things first, sir. Can I have your overview on Roman Gate or Alfred Gate or Mentor Gate? Whatever gate. You know they like to our Sue Gate and this gate. So I don't know if you can call this Roman Gate or what. But what is your take on this bill?
It's the Roman man. We'll call him the Roman man. But how can the mayor explain to the citizens of Georgetown this particular bill and spending over in a bill that is over $600,000 of taxpayers' monies? And then we
Yeah,
continue to say that we can't clean this, we don't have money, we don't have this, but we're going to spend $600,000. And I want to tell you something, Courdel. There's a cap of $15,000 on the mayor's because he gets allowances.
yeah.
A cap of $15,000. And then what I also want to say that before he left that trip to Ghana, where he basically went to some market and saw even more confusion than what is taking place
Thank you,
here,
sir.
that
Thank you, sir.
makes no sense. But we asked or we posed the question, Mr. Mayor, will this be a cost to the mayor city council? He said no. But yet still there's a big phone bill of 600. It is ridiculous and it is shameful. If this mayor has any integrity, like I mentioned before, and I continue to say it, he will step down. He's shameful. You cannot
Completely
explain
agree.
that to any citizen.
Yeah, yeah.
You
No,
Roman.
no, Councillor Jacobs. I mean, we could chalk it up to the mayor being up in age, and he's not too aware of why.
I beg to differ. I'm much older than the mayor, so don't put it to age, please, please.
Please, don't do that to Auntie Pat, please.
I'm sorry.
Don't do it. Don't do it to age.
I'm trying to explain it away, councillors, to give
No,
him
no, no.
reasoning.
No,
Mr.
no, no.
Courdel,
Don't let
Mr.
age be.
Courdel,
Mm-mm.
once you get off at any airport around this country, you can buy a SIM card.
Right. Yeah,
You can
Councillor
purchase a
Yarma
SIM
said so.
card.
Correct.
Yeah.
But he knows this bill will go to City Hall. So he understands what he's doing. He knows that he won't have to pay for it, but he wants to keep the same number to talk to people and message and
Right.
Jesus Christ.
Right. No, Councillor Jacobs, you came in a little bit late, so I want to give you some time to catch up. I was asking Councillor Yarmus and Councillor Chase Green the meeting that followed the collapse of the Starbrook wharf. What was discussed in terms of a solution or in terms of generating revenue or a new facility? Share your thoughts on the discussions held there at that meeting.
Um, I don't think it wasn't a fruitful meeting. It was a meeting of or a regular meeting. So the
Stop,
plan that
stop.
was brought was deferred to another meeting. So it's typical of how council operates. I don't want to say we, but it's typical of how council operates. Everything is deferred and pushed back to later. Nothing is done with any sort of urgency.
Right.
We look again at the budget meeting that's supposed to be happening today. Actually, right? It's pushed to Friday. So this is how they operate. No solid plans. and this goes back to the even the committee in terms of who leads these committee, chair these committee, and who are who are the persons in these committee in terms of their think tank that bring these proposals to council. But again, Courdel, it was just the norm, just before no solid. And I mean, the government is lending their hands, they're stretching out. Say, listen, we want to build this thing. First of all, if you're a smart male, what you'll do, you'll ask the question to the government, what plans do you have? And then see how you can lobby on that, and then see how you can get revenues for council. But you need to lobby on what the government ideas now, and see what they want to do and see the vision, because it's very much obvious from what the government is doing right now. They're thinking about future.
Yeah.
Right? It's futuristic plans, and we're seeing it laid out. So again, Courdel, it was based, a talk shop.
Council Diarmas, as I said before, you often lament about the lack of transparency, no accountability at the council level. Your thoughts on the meeting deferred to Friday in terms of getting the budget in order for council, charting a course forward for 2024, given the fact we're already 4 months in?
First of all, Courdel, I've taken a look at the budget, the draft budget that they circulated. That they've circulated again. I must make mention that they circulated very many months late. This thing should have been circulated since at least sometime last year, right? Right. So now they've brought this draft budget. It was meant to have been discussed this morning, and was again postponed to Friday. I've taken a look at it, and that budget has no basis in reality. So we're just going to be discussing some jumpy numbers. They allocate 6 million here, 15 million there, 20 million there. But when you ask the question, where the heck is the money going to come from?
Right.
There's no real response. If you examine what was actually received last year, this year's budget is about $1 billion more than what they received last year, approximately, right? Or at least $500 million more. So where the heck is the money going to come from? They keep throwing the buck down the line. So while we were supposed to meet today, and now we're meeting on Friday, I'll hold my breath. Maybe we'll meet, maybe we won't meet. And if we meet, we're gonna meet to pass a jumpy budget with jumpy numbers that have no basis in reality whatsoever. So I mean, I guess the mayor sees it as fulfilling a basic statutory duty that ought to have been fulfilled earlier in the year. Sure, but
yeah, no. Councillor Chase Green, your thoughts on the lack of planning and foresight in relation to the creation of this budget? I know for sure that you were forcefully kept off of one of these committees. I can't remember which one, but they kept you off the committee. And now, as Councillor Diarmas has alluded to, it seems to be an unrealistic budget. Now, as a former mayor, share with us the planning process of formulating this type of budget for the council and some of the things that are considered.
In the budget, being honest, the budget has always been late in forthcoming. According to Law 2801, we're supposed to complete our budget by the 15th of November and submit to the government a copy. They don't have to approve it, but we submit it to them so they can see. If there's an addendum to the budget and we need more money halfway through the next year, we will have to apply to the government, and they will have to approve that budget. That has not been happening. We've always submitted budget late. We have never submitted a budget in October. I can say that for sure. Your concentration should be on the drainage, roads work, solid waste. The major issues in the city is lighting, drainage, solid waste, roads, markets, because as your second largest revenue earning place, and you should put back some of the money that you get from the market back into the market to maintain the market so you can get around.
Right.
And I could say for me, it was a different planning situation. We had community involvement. We had councillors' involvement, all councillors' involvement. I had some councillors from the PPP side who were very vocal and spoke with the community, came out with the ideas and so. But there were
Mm.
always meetings in the community. For this budget, there was no community meeting. So this budget is not a budget, as far as I'm aware, of what the
All right.
community is desiring. This is more or less a cut and paste budget and an idea, oh, rain on fall, we got to do a little drainage. Um, we can't do roads because we got no money. That's the kind of budget we have.
Yeah. Yeah.
The cemetery is in a state. We would have asked, um, what, but 4 statutory meetings ago, we were told if the cemetery is running out of space and a area was identified. What equipments do we have? Write to the government to see what they can help us so we can clear a new area for space. That took a long time. I think it's only last week the letter might have gone to the government. Again, we got to seek to the government for help in doing most of these major works because we don't have the money. We don't
Right.
have the money because you see the kind of spending, careless, reckless spending of things that are not. No, this phone bill is 600 and something thousand. We were told at the statutory meeting on Monday to complete the kitty market downstairs, to do some um, wiring and a little bit of tiling and some thing putting in a door or something would have cost us like $400,000,
So the
and
kitty
they
market
couldn't
could
find
open
it.
up with this bill money.
And if you complete that, you would be able to open the market, rent the stalls, and get money. But no, we're faced with a bill with $600,000. This is the lack of my good friend Council the Armors to say accountability. Because had this not leaked out to us, we would have not have known about this large amount being paid by the council for the mayor roaming.
Mm.
You
Mm.
understand? And how many
Yeah.
more of these bills might have passed us that we don't know about?
So
How many
Council,
other how many other bills or expenses that might have been made and they were asked to pay that we don't know about? This money
yeah.
could have been used to buy the stunt gun that we spoke about in the last statutory meetings. Instead of killing the animals in such a cruel manner, we could have been able to purchase a stunt gun or two with and ammunitions with this. But I mean, these are the small things that they don't look at. But in a wider picture, if you accumulate all this money that I said to you, how many things that money could have done for the citizens that would benefit the citizens and not one man?
Right. Right. Now, Councillor Jacobs, that should be extra vexing to you. The market in your area could have been completed and open, so persons in Kitty aren't traveling to Border or traveling to Starbrook Market to get the greens and stuff. I mean, that's crazy.
I mean, it's correct, Cordell, and it's frustrating sometimes when you sit and you listen to the thinking of the mayor and his councillors. But Cordell, let me tell you about the budget. I'm going to read something from the budget. The 2024 budget intends to be more intentional and focus on the areas of city constabulary, city engineers, and public health departments.
Mm.
And Cordell, lo and behold, we took money from these departments. When you look at the 2023 budget and the 2024 budget, they took monies. So the budget is now reduced in these departments. But you have the intention will be focused on this. Now, how this makes sense? How something like this makes sense? It makes no sense. And this is they have no clear vision. And then when you go through this budget and you listen, because what happens here, some of the administration play a major role in putting this together also too. They're
Mm.
actually telling the councillors or the council the problems and actually outlining a framework in terms of how to work to achieve what council wants. But again, all of this is overlooked. And like I always say in council meetings, only when the mayor wants to okay something or let something pass, then he wields the gavel. Because it's
Mm.
personal interest all the time. It's not the interest of the over 240,000 citizens that we have here. It's always personal interest. And people
Yeah.
need to understand that when local government elections and these things come about, they need to think when they're voting and understand that if you want a change, it can only be one change, and it's the PPPC led council. And this is what we need to understand. You look at this. You said this is your focus, but you take away money from it. How does this make sense?
You take away jumping money because the money ain't coming. The money is not actually going into We're already in
Shot the
April.
money, shot the money, shot the money.
We're already in April. And
No,
going
but,
into and
between the three of you here, were y'all consulted in any way, shape, or form on this budget as it relates to what is going into it?
we were invited to finance committee meetings where PPP only has one voting, one counselor, right? So we were invited, but that's just to sit and listen. We don't have a vote, so we have no input basically into how this is guided. But the few meetings that I sat in on, while I didn't have a vote, I listened and I got the impression that even on the admin side, admin is frustrated. And I'll give you an example. We were discussing what to do with the subvention that government gives us, because yes, contrary to what the mayor wants us to think, once you listeners to think, government does give us subvention despite all the lack of accountability and transparency.
Yeah.
What to do with it? And the public health department said, well, they suggested that we use the subvention to purchase, was it some buses, Councillor Green? Some buses,
Yeah.
so that they can transport vaccines and their staff around. And she was told by members of the finance committee that, oh no, we've budgeted for these things already. It's in the budget. You can see it. It's in the budget. And she the staff, the admin of the public health department said, we have no confidence in this budget because it has been budgeted for I don't know how many the last 10 budgets, and nothing has been bought. Right? That speaks to the credibility of a budget. It's jumpy numbers. The money isn't actually
Static
there.
framework.
It's a static framework, correct? It's a static framework that with no basis in reality. And if you want to see how much of a cut and paste job this is, I'm looking at the budget right now. It says budget 2024, and yet at the headings of the columns are marked estimates 2023 and estimates 2022.
Man, no. You
at least want to compare the previous year. I mean, it would be estimates 2024 and estimates 2023, but this has estimates 2023, estimates 22. They've just copied and pasted it from last year's static framework to this year's static framework. And I'm sure if you analyze these numbers, you'll see that there's a pattern. Maybe they've increased by 6%, by 7%, or by 10%. There's no basis in reality. They've maybe just applied a formula and and just dragged it through. And so yeah, there's no. This is just. I'm happy that we finally gotten a draft budget. Let me say that it's very late, but I'm happy that we finally gotten one. Right. But this leaves so much more to be desired.
So just for my understanding and our viewers, you sat in on some finance committee meetings, but in terms of finding out from you what your constituency is looking for, Councillor Jacobs, what your constituency is hoping for, Councillor Chase Green, your constituency wants this and this. This is what we could do. This is what we can do. It is not a consultation process like that.
No.
So that
is normally what's supposed to happen. Your budget should be based on the felt needs of your community. I know previously we would have meetings, especially saying constituencies 12. I'll have meetings at the Tocqueville School and places like that where we invite the community to come in. They air their views. We got drainage problems. We got bridges problems. We got all sorts of problems, and that is noted. There are officers there. Some may be able to fix the problem immediately, and some will have to go to the budget because it costs the money. That was not done for this budget. But
on the part, I understand why they don't want to do that, because they know that central government will fix it.
But not only that, let me tell you something.
That's the only thing.
It's most disheartening to know the issue of the collapse of the Starbrook Market wharf has happened.
Mhm.
Not one single day. And I know he's going to say, "Oh, I talked to the vendors." I don't want you to talk to a few vendors as you walk into the back to go to the back of the Starbrook Market. You should have called a market of all vendors, a meeting of all vendors of the Starbrook Market, and say
Mm,
to them, "Listen, this has happened. You have seen it, and so we're going to do A, B, C. Walk them along the way that we're going to go." We
yeah.
were going into the Starbrook Market, and some of the vendors said, "Oh, we hear y'all sell Exxon Mobil by this already. Why we move here?" That is the kind of thought that the people have. But you are not doing that. When I asked you when you're going to call this meeting, "Oh, I talked to the vendors." You talked to the few vendors who were blocking the way, and to ask them to go to the side so the trucks could pass in to move the rubble that was moving by the road.
Yeah.
But the vendors, as of now, if you go there, they don't know what's happening at the back there. They don't know what's going to happen next. You have not been able to call that meeting. Why are you afraid to talk to the vendors? Why? We had walkabouts. We went through border market, and people said to us, "We don't know who the mayor was, who the
But
mayor is."
but Auntie
Wow.
Pat,
Both
but Auntie
councils, they
Pat,
can say that to you.
but Auntie Pat, in the meetings, you would recall that he basically says that, and in just like and in these terms, and I mean the marketing, but I forget the marketing. He
Good.
doesn't want to confront issues and come up with fix and solution. He doesn't want, and that is his nature. He loves to hide behind people. And then when a matter arises that he thinks that he can get cheap political points from, then all of a sudden he appears. Look like the Seawall there yesterday. All of a sudden he appear, but doesn't
Boy.
want to confront actual issues, right, of the vending situation.
Right.
Look, letters are being sent left, right, and center to the mayor city council right now to remove vendors from the paves.
Mm,
Confront them. Call the meeting, and this is not, and I'm going to say, Courdel, calling for this meeting, Auntie Pat calling for this meeting is not just today. This is from inception when we
right.
were elected and we went in. Call a meeting with the vendors and speak to them. Get to understand what's happening. And this is what leaders do. Don't hide behind anything. Go to meet the people. But I want to make a point though, Courdel, because this false narrative is peddled in the newspapers and all over social media and so forth in terms of the government not doing anything to help City Hall. I'm going to say that it's false. When you look, the government has already taken over roads. We're seeing it happening right across Georgetown. The government
Right.
has taken over drainage. We can speak to that pump station in Limendal. The government has able to assisted the public health department in terms of seconding persons to their clinics and paying them and providing supplies and
The
so forth to
pharmacy
take
and
care.
pharmacists. Hmm.
Thank you very much. The landfill, and I can go on and on. So let's debunk that narrative. Let people stop saying that they're helping. But in terms of, like Auntie Pat said, if you can't throw money in a cup that in a bottom, it can't work.
Listen, if you can't, why? And this is I sound like a broken record, but why would you throw money at the city council that does not even have reconciled bank statements, right?
Mm,
When we in council ask for this, it's a whole mystery. The bank account statements can't be reconciled. Finally, they provided a reconciliation for 1 month. I noticed that in the last treasurer's report, there was no bank reconciliation. We've requested bank balances. We ought to know what's in our bank, which bank accounts the city has open, right? Because there's more than one bank account, and the balances in those accounts. So again, we can make informed decisions. And if you can't provide that basic information, you can't provide a basic financial statement, then I'm sorry. The city, as much as it's badly managed, it can't do. We can't throw more money down the drain. Fix those things first. In the meantime, as Councillor Jacobs has said, the central government is helping. right? Not by throwing money down the drain, but by doing things that are tangible. They've taken over, as Councillor Jacob said, they've taken over the roads, right? They've greatly subsidized the public health department. They still give us subvention, which has been historically mismanaged. For example, the two glaring issues, the two most recent ones are the administration building. They gave a subvention for the administration building, I think, in 2021. And I dare anybody listening to go and take a look at where that construction is right now. And as usual, there's a lot of controversy about how much money was expended, and because they haven't managed that process properly. And then in 2022, they gave another subvention, which was meant to have purchased two compactors, which the compactors were two compactors and trucks to move the compactors. The compactors have been purchased and they're sitting idle, rusting in the Stone Depot at Percy Street, right? No trucks have been purchased, and there was a whole again controversy with the way the compactors were purchased. And there's still $10 million left over from that subvention money that they've received. It's just one story of mismanagement after another.
No, can't, as councillors, all three of you, I've heard you say on more than one occasion that you've requested information about bank accounts and statements, and it is just not given to you. Now, isn't there, Councillor Chase Green, especially to you who has a deep knowledge of 2801, isn't there some kind of thing where if this information is not provided to the councillors who have been elected, that a course of action that you can take to have it demanded, or something?
After you would have asked, make a verbal request to the council, and there's no answer forthcoming, you can write to the town clerk, who has to respond in writing. You can write, because on every agenda there is something for notice of questions and motions. Under that, you can write and ask the question, and she has to respond in writing.
But that don't mean she can send the information.
Well, after that information is not forthcoming, as a council, it has never happened. But we can be bold enough to go a step further. And challenge the treasurer or the town clerk.
Okay. Anyway, Councillor Jacob, go ahead.
Yeah. You mentioned that they came in late. Did we have any conversation surrounding these solid waste contracts?
No. Let's listen.
All right. I'm surprised that my colleague, Councillor Alfonso, didn't mention it. But what has been happening, though, Courdel? The council made a decision in, if I'm correct, earlier this year, November, about extending the contracts for the contractors.
Right.
But what had happened, they wanted to do a 5% increase for parapet waste, of which only one contractor actually agreed.
Right.
But Courdel, these contracts to clear garbage expired in March. So you have here now that you have a current situation now that contractors are actually working out of their goodwill without a contract. And then when it comes to council, it's always put off. According to the, let's go back to the solid waste committee, and this is what he continues to do: delay and delay. But one of the things he mentioned that caught me, and I know you'll be interested in this. He said that during the local government campaign, that they had decided that when these contracts come up again, that they would have done something.
Something like what?
Right, you got to think what he's implying.
Something like nothing. Something like nothing.
When he says something, he's implying to say that, listen, we go after one of these contractors because of certain reasons. More than likely because he might think that they're not on his team. So that is what he wants to do with people, and he's delaying this signing of this contract for a particular purpose and reasons. Either he want to broker something, or he wants to take out somebody, which again is unfair. These guys are being paid 2 and 3 months after, but they don't complain. They do the work
with no contract. With
with
no
no
contract.
contract.
No contract.
What happened if one of them decides to withdraw their services?
That's why I was just about to ask. If they
Payment.
decide they can't wait.
And it's not an issue where we wait for the last moment to look at the contracts. There were warned since last year. The council is aware that these contracts is going to come to an end in March. Please let us look at it. They started looking at it since when? Since October when? So to agree that they will extend the contract for 1 year from November. Lo and behold, at last statutory meeting, he's saying he can't remember agreeing to extend the contracts. And so it must go back to the solid waste committee and look at it at a month-to-month basis. Which organization is going to go with you on a month-to-month basis? Garbage collection is a serious issue in the city of Georgetown. We're looking at the change of weather. With garbage collection and a rainy season, you're looking at serious health issues in this city. Very serious health issues. And so therefore, the city hall that has its responsibility is not taking full responsibility of looking at those issues. And if there happen to be any outbreak in the city of Georgetown, we have to depend again on the government. And the government don't put a price to what is happening. As my councillor Jacobs would have said, this pharmacy that operates at the Dorothy Bailey Center is managed by the government, the staff there, the drugs there, paid by the government. That's assistance that we have.
Yeah.
And so when you say the government is not helping, the government is helping. If you look back at the history, there was a Georgian Restoration Fund with a $1 billion. I don't know if y'all could remember. It wasn't the APNU government. So money has always been put into the council. While some of those monies might have been spent by the government of itself because they couldn't trust to give the money to the government to spend, we still had an oversight of what was happening in the city. But as of now, nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. And the council must take its responsibility. He went ahead yesterday in one of his letters to say, oh, it's not an APNU-led government council. It's 30 councillors with equal opportunity. And wrong, because even on the day of elections, when he was elected as mayor and deputy mayor, they were doing election of councillors. We did not get equal opportunity of sitting on any of those committees. One person was chosen to sit on the finance committee, one to sit on the City Works Committee, and one on the Markets Committee. Of all the committees that the council have, only 3 councillors we have sitting on committees. The other 8 councillors are just left there to do the work, and they have been producing and doing work in their community more than those who are in the council doing work.
Yep.
The PDP councillors are out and about in every constituency doing work, right? Yes. Presently, no. Look, we would have done the bridge, we would have done the footpath in the big yard. We were doing road, a promise made by Minister Edgell during the local government walkabout to 2 streets in McDC. That's being done. We're doing 4 play fields in the area. I mean, and then you want to say the city belongs to you. The city belongs to you, but you're not taking ownership of it because you can't. You run and hide, you duck and hide on certain things, and then you come out vocal on certain things. A judge gave you a order to do certain things, and then you have the nerve to sit and tell 29 other councillors that the judge don't have a right to tell you where to put your vendors. She can't determine on which street is public street and which street is government street. And she can't determine that. Look, my councillors are there that can say that, and we had to stand up and say the judge has all right to do that.
Oh my goodness.
2801 is quite clear. While we don't oppose vending, we should have organized vending. If you look on the streets, some of those vendors, vending is no longer with a sweetie tray as people used to do before. There's supermarkets on the streets that block the roadways. And
And
we
the
must
sad part
accept that.
about it too is some of these guys that are vending, they take over the whole sidewalk. So persons, pedestrians now have to walk in the road on Water Street especially. It's horrible. You gotta be dancing through traffic because people got storage, not even just the thing they're vending with, not just the stand. They got storage on the sidewalk.
So,
Vending or in the corner, and you gotta walk in the middle of the road to get down the street. Come on.
look, during World Cup cricket, um, the then president, 𝒊𝒏𝒔𝒆, would have bought that plot of land where they have the vendors mall there for
Yes, yes,
$300,000
yes.
and build the vendors mall to put vendors there. So don't say the
You-
government is not
300
helping.
million, Auntie Pat.
300
300
million,
million.
sorry.
Thank you.
Uh, and put vendors
300
there,
million.
build it and everything to have it look good. Had the
Right.
full cooperation of the private citizens to do the branding and all of that to let the city look good. It
Yeah.
wasn't a well. I mean, he wasn't the president, the mayor then. We had other mayors there. But I'm saying the government has continuously been putting money into it.
Right, right, right. Councillors, I'd like to thank you all for being here. Let me give you a chance to give some closing statements. We'll start off with you, Councillor Jacobs, then we'll have Councillor 𝒔𝒎𝒻𝒔, and we'll close off with Councillor Chase Green. Livewire people, don't go. We got more to deal with. Just letting these councillors get on with the day. They're very busy people. Go ahead, Councillor Jacobs.
You know, Colonel, I just want to say that the mayor of the city of Georgetown needs to take responsibility for what is happening in the city, the collapse of the Starbrook wharf, the current vendor situation, and fix it. He cannot continue to blame the government and blame anything else other than himself. He's in charge. It's the APNU AFC led council, and
Right.
they need to take the mantle and push the city forward. But I want to also advise the citizens that that if you want this current situation to change, you'll have to vote for a PPPC led council in the coming future.
Thank you.
I echo similar sentiments. We PPP councillors, even though we have 11 seats, up from 7 from the last council, even though we only have 11 seats and we don't have a majority on the council, we are nevertheless working assiduously, not just in our own constituencies, but around Georgetown to bring the transformation and to bring the change that that City Hall ought to be doing, but they're not, because they dither and they procrastinate and they throw everything down the line and they have no accountability, no transparency. Until that happens, we will continue to work outside of City Hall to make sure that Georgetown is clean, to make sure that we have efficient drainage, and to make sure that the lives of our residents are transformed and are brought up to a standard, an international standard that everyone in Georgetown and in Guyana deserves.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Chase Green.
I would like to endorse the sentiments of both of my councillors and say the PPP councillors will work assiduously to get things done in the city of Georgetown, because I know people are going to say, oh, you were part of the system. Yes, I'm sorry I did not leave that system long before, because it's stagnant, it's going nowhere. This council is at its worst end. And I pray that at 2026, that the PPP-led council can be held so that citizens can see how Georgetown could be. We are doing as much as we can, and we will continue to do. We'll continue to be on the ground, walk this walk, not talk the talk. We will not be, I hope, come next statutory, we are not de-recognized for our outspoken, because that's another way. He comes with an attitude to the council when PPP councillors want to express themselves and say, I will de-recognize you. I don't recognize you and not allowed to speak. But we will not, if we're not allowed to speak, our actions will be on the road where we will work with the people, and they will see evidence of what a PPP-led council can be. That Georgetown can return to its garden state. I know it can be done, and it will be done under PPP-led council. The 11 is working assiduously to get it there.
Yeah, Councillor Jacobs, Councillor 𝒔𝒎𝒻𝒔, Councillor Chase Green. All I could tell y'all, keep the pressure. Keep the pressure. Don't back down. Continue to do what y'all doing there. And I mean, I see sometimes, especially when Councillor Jacobs and you, Councillor Chase Green, when y'all get up, y'all harassing that man, y'all giving pressure. Hard trouble. But I can help y'all too, because I only case as well. Thank you guys for being
He
here.
gotta learn. He gotta learn to be a strong leader and face the people.
No, but before the strength, you gotta have sense. You can't just be strong and
Leave it there.
stupid.
Leave it there, Courdel. Leave it there.
He doesn't have challenging times. I had challenging times in this council. I had challenging times. There was a time when the then government had to give us was what $300 million, and they said to us, "Oh, don't ever think that this is going to be a regular." And it never happened.
Which
They paid off.
Government? Can you say which government just before
The
we go?
APNU government, the then minister. The then minister of local government says it's not going to be a regular thing to bail out the council. The council don't.
Is Mr. Volcan is his name?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Stop it. You got to be fibbing here, man.
Listen, the article is somewhere there. Them boys got the article. Says clear they're not going to bail out the council. I mean, so when you come now banging the government about the government and paying taxes to government not paying taxes, let me say it quite clearly. I see this get me ready up. Let me say it quite clearly. When we took office in 1994, the previous government had not been paying taxes for all the public buildings.
Stop it, Mayor.
They let them look to the records. If they could find the records, let them go back into the records and see. It was the then finance chairman, the late Deputy Mayor Robert Williams, who said, y'all recognize that government not paying taxes. Let us go after the government for taxes. It was the PPP government who had to pay off the taxes for the 28 years of APNU government. The records are there. I'm not old, so that's why I said, Justin, don't talk about age.
Because we get a history lesson here. I didn't know this.
Let's go check it. Go check it.
Them records. I'm glad you said so. This is good news to me. Anyway, councils, let me let y'all go. Thank you for being here. And I guess I'll see you on Friday at the statutory meeting. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too, bro. Take care.
Thank you, Courdel.
Y'all could believe this? Y'all could believe this? Born of them in use of pay City Hall? What a piece of mix-up. What trouble is this? Born of them in use of pay City Hall. This guy is a waste. This guy is a waste. You hear me? Complete waste. Alfred Mentor, I am urging you to resign and go your way, sir. You resign and go your way. And I heard that he accused the Guyana Chronicle of selective criticism and political bias, but he failed to address the council's connection to political parties. And this blame shifting is an attempt to deflect attention from the council's failures and paint a misleading picture of the council's political independence, which we know it does not have. Right? Now, before I get on to the other stuff, the mayor had attempted to compare the Starbrook market wharf collapse to other tragic events. That is the idiocy of this man, Alfred Mentor. Right? The man tried to equate things like the Madhya fire where those young Guyanese lost their lives and the Brickdam station fire. How are you comparing them to? They had a fire lingering at Brickdam station for years and finally catch up and consume the place. Was there a fire lingering at the Madhya Dorm for years and it finally consumed the place? Was the Malia dorms or the breakdown station condemned? That person should not be in there, Mr. Mayor. Y'all just think about some of these things you say. No, these comparisons are irrelevant and serve only to distract from the council's responsibilities in managing the city's infrastructure. Each of those events have unique circumstances and should not be used as an excuse for the mayor and his PNC councillors' negligence. But we can deal with the continuity another day. I fed up Alfred Mentor. This guy, complete waste of space. And then running up such a ridiculous bill. Could you all imagine? You know, that is why I like to have these councillors here, because you get a lot of information from them. The amount of money Alfred Mentor just run up in phone bill could have allowed the kitty market to be open and functioning for the residents in this city. More so Kitty Campbellville area there. That's the amount. Now, let me take you, y'all heard Councillor Jacobs talk about the Seawall. Let me take y'all to the Seawall now, where they had another idiot. Another idiot. And when there's illegality, when there is chaos, where there is corruption, where there's mismanagement, you will always find persons from the PNC there. You will always find them there and leading the charge as well. Now, I heard about something but vendors getting removed from the Seawall. So somebody sent me a video and I did some investigating. Perhaps to find out that the vendors, some of them, violated the contract they had with Public Works in terms of the structures they're allowed to have out there. So one, you breach a contract. You do your own thing. So the managing body step in now and say, here, this gone overboard. We got to get to the back end check. PNC people in action. Watch.
So we go to the Seawall here. Seems that they're here to.
No, first of all, clearly they're talking to this guy here in this blue shirt. I don't know the gentleman, right? I am almost absolutely sure that this man, whilst he was speaking, let me get to you on screen. I'm absolutely sure while this man was speaking, he wasn't this loud and brawling. You understand? And if you all don't know, this is the oil and gas advisor data. So you see the apple clearly landed just at the tree roots. It ain't far from the tree, right? This chip fall right to the edge of the block. Bare unhinged lunatic behavior. Now, even though you are upset that this lady might got to move, that's how you're dealing with it as a leader, a community leader. That's how you're addressing the problem. Going on like a stark, raving, mad lunatic. You understand? How people got to eat. What happened to consultation? The consultation was in the contract. Don't add the stuff there without permission. That was the consultation in the contract. In the contract, it said when y'all done what? Move your worries from off the Seawall. Your stand, your fridge, wherever it is, move it from off the Seawall. That was the consultation. They had a contract and they had an agreement. Right? They had a contract and they had an agreement. Now you're adding this, you're billing though, you're putting on this, your thing. Now when the hammer dropped, and they said, all right, too much people following suit, this thing getting out of hand. You understand me? We got to bring it back. You vex? You're vex? And look who you calling, Shondell Smith Daniels or whatever the hell she named. What she could do for you other than holler down the place and make yourself a damn fool on the road? What can she do for you? Right? Richard Stanislaw, disco ball and thing all up there. You understand? I even heard that some people living out there now. You understand? The ministry had to go and demolish, I think, over 20 latrine from on the seawall. Y'all understand how far they're taking it? So they're renting the portable toilets or buy a portable toilet to keep it out there and thing. They're building latrine out there. And again, Shondell Smith Daniels talking about people got eat and people got think. When you invest into business, you have to take all these things into consideration. Parking, restroom facility, place where you wash the hand, place where you sit down, all kind of thing. Now, you decide to jump into the business before you're ready, or you didn't seek proper funding. You didn't go to the bank and get a loan to help you get everything you need to start the business. You go there with the incorrect stuff. That caused the regulatory bodies to come down on you. Now you vex. The mayor going out there when the mayor should be worried about his blasted bill. You going out there to look at vendors when you can't even deal with the vendors on Water Street and around them, Nico, and around Moonishwars. Again, the mayor completely separated from where his priorities should be. Completely separated. No, here this funny party.
So we're out to the seawall here. Seems that they're here to break down persons.
Mind you, look how this thing getting out of hand, right? Let me go back in the video a little bit. Look at this other building that's there. This is not authorized, you know. This person got a whole enclosed thing there with fancy windows and water tank and all kind of thing. You understand me? So you're supposed to have Richard Stanislaw said Minister Crow could call it a new housing scheme. It looks so. So how are you packing this down? I'm talking about the green building at the back, just over the Verosa. This looks like Chris Jones Verosa, like Chris Jones being out there. Probably is he taking the video. How are you packing that down after your day's work as stipulated in the contract that you have or the agreement that you have with the Ministry of Public Works to vend out there? The agreement said, broke down the thing, carry it away where you don't work. How you carrying that away? You take up a permanent spot on the seawalls and now. Okay. But listen.
Break down persons' businesses.
You're not going to take bread out of my people's mouth.
Take bread out of her people's mouth. Okay.
They need to move today.
They're not moving. Tell Ropes and Ben and tell her, should I tell her to come to stairs?
So here, this non-entity, Shondell Smith Daniels, she's not even a blasted member of parliament, calling Minister Ejil and Minister Ben name in her mouth. You gotta call one of you MPs to do that. You enough the standing to someone's ministers. You're a non-entity in the PNC. They never give you a proper position yet. Never. Who has to be in power, out of power? Never. Shondell Smith Daniels, you need to have a seat and rest your voice. What's the reason you hollering down the seawall so far? The people in violation of the contract. You read the contract? You read the contract that this lady telling you about? I watched an interview with her on Gordon Mosley's news. And even by her own admission, she is in violation of the contract. They got a next guy, he got a whole, he's the next one, got a whole structure, but he claiming that his structure it ain't going to the ground. It built on something. Sir, the contract says at the end of your business day or night, wherever the time is, carry away your thing. Carry away your stuff. That's what the contract said. Carry away your stuff. I don't even think it's supposed to get an enclosed structure either. Right? So these people violate the contract. No crying foul. And typical PNC leadership endorsing bad behavior. Endorsing bad behavior. I bet y'all up to now, Shonda Smith Daniels didn't look at the contract yet. And the sad part about it is, there is a possibility that she look at it, but she just ain't care. So it's literally PNC wrong and strong behavior at its best. So you violate a contract. Now you're paying the penalty. And you vex like somebody violate you. You cause yourself to be unable to earn now because you did not stick within the parameters of the contract. So how are you going to turn around and be upset now? Come on, man. Let us be fair. Let us be fair.
Let her come yourself. This is getting overbearing now.
It is getting overbearing. It is, Shondell. Your behavior is completely overbearing. Completely. Anyway, let me get this lunatic off the screen. Look at your mouth open wide by what? Woo! Trouble. Woo!
One set of blasting people at target and all over there.
And then, here. Back to the only card that they have in their deck. Right? Back to the only card that they have in their deck. No, it's not because you violate the contract in several ways, several breaches of the contractual agreement between the vendor and the Ministry of Public Works. It's not because of that. It is all because this lady is of Afro-Guyanese descent. Again, with the only card the PNC got. Right? And I want to say to Shonda Smith Daniels, even if you holler it from here to the high heavens, wherever above heaven and wherever above heaven and above that, does not make it true, ma'am. Right? You cannot take the facts of this vendor or several vendors on the Seawall breaching the arrangement that they have with City Hall and chalk it up to racism. Right? You cannot do that. I mean, you could, but it's wrong. It is wrong for you to do. And it shows the limit of PNC officials and personnel and representatives. That their only argument, just check it. No matter the issue, it always comes back down to it's black people, it's black people. So what, Indian people not having any trouble in this country? Why we don't see the PNC representing the rights of Indians? Indians ain't getting a struggle. They had an Indian banner from over the river complaining he ain't getting no contract. How come they don't highlight his plight? He buy excavator for contract and all kind of thing, and he ain't getting no contract and thing. He making a set of video now. He's an influencer now. Right? How come they're not highlighting his plight? Why Shonda Smith Daniels ain't gone over the river by him abusing and holler up down the place because he ain't getting contract? So it is always back to race. Amerindian people ain't getting trouble in this country. They got no issues affecting Amerindian people that they want some help or something or some representation. How we don't see Shonda Smith Daniels in Amerindian village, and then again, them Amerindian villages they enjoying themselves right now. Road, internet, solar farm, they got much to complain about. So when you have small issues like this, you can find people like Shonda Smith Daniels, you understand, coming out and at the top of her voice, trying to blow it out of proportion, trying to create some relevance, trying to get some screen time. Remember, MPs really, just get the screen time, TV interviews and stuff. So people like Shonda Smith Daniels got to find some way to remain relevant. Her people, I'm almost sure Shonda Smith Daniels never spent $1 at this lady place, visited, buy anything. She probably don't even know what the ladies sell. You understand? But you have an Afro-Guyanese person who feels disenfranchised. So I'll capitalize on this opportunity to go and make myself a blasted fool on the seawall. Right? To make myself a blasted fool on the seawall. So what she's doing is encouraging illegality. The additions were illegal. They had no permission. The lady said she had no permission to build a shed. She see people building sheds, so she built a shed. That's why all your shed gonna get broke down. You and the people who built the shed before you. I did. So this display by Shonda Smith Daniels, you take your 2 minutes of fame. I play for 2 minutes on Livewire. But other than that, you irrelevant. Yeah, see how the man in blue come? What this man could tell this lady here, Shonda, to got she going on like this? Even if you vex about what happened to this lady and whatnot, you can't reason with this man, sir, this is unfair. My people have to eat. And it's one set of people being targeted here, sir. Why are you doing that? You couldn't reason it like that. You going on like a blasted mad woman in the road. Anyway, people, y'all see what's going on with GTU. Y'all see what's going on with GTU. And y'all see what's going on with GTU. Up to now, these teachers ain't up to now ask GTU to give them account of the money. Right? Up to now, these teachers didn't ask GTU to give them account for the money. Right? And look at this. Could you imagine an organization that collecting from 16,000 teachers monthly begging for box juice towards GTU meeting? With the GTU money, why GTU can't buy their own box juice? Why these HMs got provide box juice to for these meetings? And I hope it's not the box juice the ministry sending for these children to use at the school, I hope GTU and asking these head teachers to bring out the box juice that going for these children breakfast. I am really hoping that's not the case. Right? I'm hoping that that's not the case. So GTU, I think you should take some of the teachers' juice and you buy that box juice. You buy that box juice. Look, Ministry of Education, please check and see where ensure these things reaching the children. Because they got some unscrupulous people can take them children juice and they gonna reach GTU meeting to discuss foolishness. I saw somebody speaking earlier about Rizal Ford not being afraid of appeal. Rizal Ford is not afraid to lose. Look at the elections petitions and the election cases that came up. Rizal Ford is not afraid to lose. Nigel Hughes is. Nigel Hughes doesn't take a case he can't win. Right? You notice he didn't take that 34 is the half of 65 case. He know he couldn't win it. But he can send somebody stupid like Rizal Ford to make himself a fool. You understand? And Kosi GT, you have to donate the juice. They have to donate the juice. The ministry, you best check on them children juice, yeah? Check on them children juice. I don't trust GTU. Anyway, lastly, before I go, oh my God. Oh my God. Listen, yeah, I might gotta deal with it tomorrow. But y'all see that Pam from Pam Bakery in the States called 𝒏𝒂𝒔𝒄𝒍𝒂𝒊𝒎 show? Pam, I am saying you're the most spineless person I've seen in my entire life. Pam, as you claim yourself, the original Pam, the only Pam, the Pam without any children, right? And mind you, anything that says what Pam describes yourself as. For the little piece of the video I watched, somebody sent it to me. Pam, call 𒒏𝒂𝒔𝒄𝒍𝒂𝒊𝒎 show. Call 𒒏𝒂𝒔𝒄𝒍𝒂𝒊𝒎 show and apologize to the president visitation place. It's what worries is this, Pam. You are spineless. And this is not an attack on women. This is just an attack on Pam. You are a spineless person. You could imagine. And Steve, I remember Steve get called out from the yard broom. If he went and buy the roti, the president clapped. Here, brooms. These people are sickening. I'm telling you, sickening. Sick to my stomach. I can't stand them. You understand me? But I was surprised to see that a proprietor of a business in the United States of America would call 𒒏𝒂𝒔𝒄𝒍𝒂𝒊𝒎 and seek to apologize for the head of state of the country that she is born in. Visit her place of business. Well, could you imagine that? Could you imagine that? Pam, it's probably a reason you didn't have children. Sad to say. It's probably a reason you didn't have children. Because this sort of spineless behavior, imagine, the president went to campaign there. He passing through the community, meeting Guyanese, know of this popular Guyanese bakery, going there to spend a little time, meet the Guyanese people, meet the staff and that kind of thing. And Pam apologizing. People should boycott you now, Pam. I'm not encouraging them to, but if they feel like persons who have an appreciation for what the president is doing in this country, who live overseas, maybe they should boycott you now. Spineless. No, Richard, whether her business is in the community or not, right? Whether her business in the community or not, who the hell is 𒒏𝒂𝒔𝒄𝒍𝒂𝒊𝒎 to call out Pam on the president's visit? Who is 𒒏𝒂𝒔𝒄𝒍𝒂𝒊𝒎 to call out Pam on the president's visit? What I gotta do it? What I gotta do it, man? Huh? What I got to do with 𒒏𝒂𝒔𝒄𝒍𝒂𝒊𝒎? Granger ever went to Pam Bakery and clapped 2 roti or make 2 buns or anything? Y'all understand what I'm trying to show you? Granger, Moses Nagamutu, who was the second vice president, third vice president, Alikak, Ramjatan, nobody who had a presidential post, vice president portfolio, presidential position, prime minister portfolio, minister portfolio, vice president portfolio, nothing, never visit Pam Bakery. Oh God, I want to lash out on Pam, but I got to remember to compose myself. None of them never visit Pam Bakery. You understand me? I am sure they got thousands of Guyanese and other people who know about the Pam's Bakery now because of President Ali. And stink mouth jail board 𒒏𝒂𝒔𝒄𝒍𝒂𝒊𝒎 gonna pull Pam out and make she apologize for a presidential visit. They're the ones who used to talk about, you mightn't like Granger, but you must respect his office. What the hell happened to President Ali? At the end of the day, 𝒏𝒐𝒂𝒊𝒎, those people didn't even show you their SOPs. They didn't show you 𝒏𝒐𝒂𝒊𝒎 for you to show the world, or to show the people in the diaspora, or to show Pam, spineless Pam. But you must respect Granger as a useless president, an inactive president, a planting chip and cook-up rights president. You must respect him. But President Ali, who transforming this country, putting Guyana on the map, representing us, lobbying for reparations for Afro-Guyanese slaves, something that we hardly heard. Jeez, why can't I be critic? Something that we never heard or hardly heard Granger talk about. You understand me? President Ali transforming agriculture, infrastructure, his team of ministers, his team doing so much. And you're going to respect your office? Pam? Steve? Oh my gosh, y'all are, oh boy. I was so disappointed last night when I saw the video. I was so disappointed that Guyanese could be easily jeez, I didn't even know what to say. Pam, you're disgraceful. You're disgraceful. The president didn't do nothing to you, Pam. Not a single thing. Right? The president didn't do not a thing to you, and he did more than Granger ever did for you in terms of visiting your business. Granger has never been there. Right? Oh my goodness. Why is it that you don't hear the racist card being played by other? I see James Bond come out and ask what the bumbleclot these people doing. Now, mind you, Pam, out of fear, run to 𝒏𝒐𝒂𝒊𝒎's show, right? And the day before, 𝒏𝒐𝒂𝒊𝒎 literally threatened Pam, right? And encouraged people to boycott her business, and then Pam, out of fear, run to 𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒎's show. What? Look, people. Oh, Lord, it's trouble in this place. It's trouble. Right? It's trouble in this place. I am about to head out of here. Y'all have a wonderful day. Right? Pam, I am indeed ashamed of your behavior. You as an adult, and even if you're a PNC supporter. Pam, even if you're a PNC supporter. The head of state. How you refusing the entry in the play? Man, look, I fed up. Marisha, Maureen, Jasoda, Fong, Rosaline, Tulsi Ram, y'all have a wonderful day. Barbs, y'all have a wonderful day. Counselor Stephanie, Dale Henry, y'all have a wonderful day today. Right? Be good, Guyanese. Don't listen to the stupidness that coming out of the opposition. Right? And as I always say before I go, it's always about peace, it's always about love, and it's all about one Guyana.
Tree.